met y'all, I know y'all's names. I'm Patty Simpson, and I come from a long line of educators. So teaching is just in my blood. I tried to avoid it. I was like, I'm not gonna be a teacher, but here I am. So my mom and dad both taught here at Temple College. My mom taught math, and my dad taught anatomy, physiology, and the sciences. And there are 4 family members here teaching at Temple College Mathematics. I have an older brother, Randy Simpson. He usually teaches over at the TBI campus, you know, those annoying high school students that are get their associate's degree and their high school diploma at the same time, those guys. He's teaching those guys. And then my younger brother, John Simpson, he teaches here on main campus, usually in that room, and then he also teaches over there at the TBI mathematics. And then my brother-in-law, Mr. Leach, also teaches here at Temple College. He's usually in this room in the middle here. So there are 4 of us. So for those of you who have already signed into Discord, you may have seen that there were different professors that were logging you in and maybe even welcomed you to it. And that was one of those 4 people. We also have a couple of TAs that help us out on there too. So anyway, I come from a long line of educators, but you've signed up for the best Simpson. So especially if math is not your thing, if you struggle at all with math, because before I came up here to the college, I taught kindergarten for 15 years. And then I guess I learned to share or something, because I moved up to 1st grade and then 2nd grade and then 4th and 5th and then middle school and high school, and now here I am here at the college level. So I can take any math and break it down to kindergarten level if I need to. Y'all come on in. Don't be shy. Are y'all looking for college algebra?
Yeah.
Yes.
Then you are in the right class. Tell me your name.
Vivian.
Vivian and
Kalani.
Kalani. Come on in, Vivian.
Does it matter who said it? Just right
It does not matter. Just find a spot. So this is Kalani?
Yes.
And this is Vivian?
Yes. Thank you. Gotcha.
So anyway, you've got the best Simpson. I can take that math and break it all the way down to kindergarten if we need to, and then build it back up. So I'm gonna be here to help you throughout the semester, and hopefully by the end of the semester, math won't be such a struggle and something that's, you avoid. Hopefully it'll be something that you're like, okay, I can get this math done. So that's a little bit about me. Let me explain kind of your schedule. So on your schedule, it shows that you are signed up for 2 different classes. And it's a little bit confusing because like one of them is 20 minutes and the other's an hour, I don't know. It's really weird. Ignore that. Here's what you need to know. You are in this room Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. to 9:15. In the end, you will get 2 grades, one for a developmental portion of the course and one for a credit level portion of the course. But really, we just meet every day from 8 to 9:15, okay? And in fact, the way the class is gonna run is the first half of the class, like the first 7 weeks of the class, we're gonna do the developmental portion. So all the foundational stuff that you will need, we're gonna learn first. And then the last half of the class will have college algebra, just like I would teach any other credit level college algebra class. Now, this is a really, really tough class to take, because what's happened is you're in here for one of 2 reasons. Either you said, I passed that TSI test, but I don't feel very good about my math skills. And so therefore, I want to take this developmental class to make sure that I understand enough math to do college algebra. Or you're in here because you didn't pass the TSI. And if you didn't pass the TSI, the state says you're not college ready. And so it's my job to get you college ready and then able to take that college algebra class, the actual credit level class. Okay. In the past, not too long ago, If you scored so that you weren't college ready in a math class, it took you 4 semesters to get your college level credit. You would start in a pre-algebra class, have to pass it, then take an intro class, have to pass it, then take an intermediate class, have to pass it, before you finally got into the credit level class. So it was 4 semesters long before you got that credit. We're gonna do all that in 1 semester. So it's gonna move pretty fast. Now that's nice if you're able to do it. But I want you to know on day 1, if something happens and you're not able to, it's okay if it takes you more than 1 semester, okay? It's gonna be okay. We'll get you through it. Hopefully we'll get you through it in 1 semester, but if not, that's okay, all right? And this is a learning experience. So especially the first 7 weeks is a learning experience. This developmental portion, we're gonna learn how college works. We're gonna learn how to turn in our assignments. We're gonna learn what you have to do to study so that you can get better at it. And then that last bit, then we'll apply everything that we've learned. Okay, so just know that we're gonna be here every day from 8 to 9:15. That's the biggest lesson there. And it is 2 classes in 1. Okay, now let's talk about the class. Everything you're going to need. Everything you're going to need is right here on D2L. You will not need to buy a book. You will not need to buy a calculator. Do not buy anything except for paper and writing utensils. You will eventually, especially that second half of the class, you will need graph paper. So that's the only other requirement that I'm going to ask you to buy is graph paper. So just be aware of that. But other than that, you don't need to buy anything. I don't want you to spend that hard-earned money on textbooks when I can just do it. Okay, so everything you're going to need is right here on D2L. Let me turn off the light so you can see a little better. And we'll get that back on in a little bit. Okay, so I just went straight to the D2L page. So I'm old and have to do a bunch of switching of classes. So, all right, so here I just went to, if you go to D2L, when you sign into D2L, there are these little boxes up here, and you click on the little boxes and you'll have your courses. These are all the courses I'm teaching. What you're gonna need to worry about this first 7 weeks is this college algebra supplement. So we're not even gonna use this college algebra course, the first part. You're just gonna use this college algebra supplement class, okay? And in fact, if you go to that one, it tells you, hey, go to your other one. So if something happens and you accidentally click on that one, it's fine. It'll tell you, hey, go back. All right, so here in the D2L, I didn't click on anything else. I just came straight here to the page, and it has first our welcome message. But most of the time, what's gonna happen is whatever we're learning that day will pop up. And it'll look like something like this, because today we're gonna learn about order of operations. So it'll always have a little cartoon here. And then down here at the bottom, they'll have a link to the video. There are lecture notes for everyone. There are examples, and there's your homework. So just like if you bought a textbook, it would teach you the things that are in there. That's what the lecture notes are. There are examples of the problem, just like it would have if you had a textbook. And then here's your homework assignment that'll be assigned. You're gonna have homework every night. And let me just show you that homework. So everything you need is right here on D2L. So I clicked on it, and here brings up my homework. By the way, it's also under content. I'll show you that in a minute. But here's the first homework. It's got 10 problems to it. And then attached to every homework problem, if you scroll down, will be the answers. So after the problems, there will be the answers on here. So let me explain a little bit about my philosophy with math and the homework. So math is just a sport, just like any other sport. You can watch me up here on the board and you're not gonna get any better at math. It's like me watching Simone Biles. I can watch her all day. Man, she is just amazing. She makes those flips look easy. But I can't go out there and do flips. I mean, I can't even do a cartwheel. Well, maybe I can do an ugly cartwheel. You know, but I'm not gonna get any better at it unless I go out there and practice it myself. And I may never be to Simone Biles' level, but you know, I can get better at it. Just like any other sport, it takes practice to get good at it. That's all math is. It's going to take practice in order for you to get good at it. You can watch me up here. You've got to go home and do the homework. Hey, I give you the answers so that you can see if you're on the right track or not. Like if you do gymnastics and you do a cartwheel and you land on your head, you go, okay, I did that wrong. Well, you need the answers to know I did that wrong. Your job is going to be to show me how you got to that answer. How did you get there? What did you do to get there? And that's what I'm going to be grading, is how did you get there? Did you have the right steps to get to that answer? And if your answer doesn't match mine, I'm going to tell you some strategies for what you can do to make sure that you're doing it correctly. Okay, so that's all that math is just practice. So I'll tell you a story, a couple of little stories about that. When I was learning to play golf, my dad was a high school state golf champion. He was good at golf. And every time he hit the ball, he hit it right down the fairway. It was a beautiful shot. Made it look really easy. So he takes me out and he's going to teach me how to play golf. He says, okay, Pat, here's what you're going to do. You're going to stand with your feet shoulder width apart. You're going to hold the club like this. Just take it back, turn with your body, and then hit the ball. Simple, right? Nothing to it. All right, so it's my turn. I'm going to hit the ball. Here we go. I do everything he tells me. And the ball was still, it didn't move. It was still right there. That might be you tonight when you get home. You're like, it looks so easy in class. Why did the ball not move? Okay, well, I had my dad standing right there coaching me. You're gonna have me to help you out and your classmates to help you out. And that's where discord's gonna come in. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But your job is gonna be to go, hey, how did I go wrong here? Well, my dad's standing there and says, hey, you gotta watch your club hit the ball. I'm like, oh, okay, keep your head down. All right. And the ball goes ding, 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 ding. It was better, but it wasn't great. In order for me to get good at hitting the ball, I had to hit bucket after bucket after bucket of ball. That's the same thing that's gonna happen here. The more you practice, the better you're gonna get at it. Okay, another story. When I was y'all's age, I made the best choices in the world. I married this guy that was a drug addict and a high school dropout. My parents were so proud, let me tell you. So, got him cleaned up, helped him get his GED, and then we enrolled him right here at Temple College. And remember, my mom taught math here at Temple College, and also remember that you had to take 3 developmental classes before you could take that credit level class. So he had to take those 3 developmental classes. He took that pre-algebra class with my mom, and he failed it. So he signed up and took it a second time. He failed it again. But the 3rd time was a charm. He took it the 3rd time and he passed it. At the end of that semester, he said, you know what? If I had just done my homework 3 times each, I could have saved myself time and money. So the next semester when he took intro, he did that. He did all of his homework 3 times each. And he passed, flying colors. Took intermediate, did the same thing. Good morning. Did all of his homework 3 times each, passed with flying colors, no worries. Went on to take college algebra, passed. He's now a flight nurse up in the Metroplex. Successful guy. So, the moral to the story is, just do your homework 3 times each. It just really does take that practice. That's what it is. Math is just practice. I am not smart. All I've done is work a lot of math problems, okay? So that's what math is. All right, so there's our homework. A couple of other things on that. Let's talk for a minute. If you look at the syllabus, I'll show you the syllabus. And let's look at how the homework is graded. There we go. And it's about as blurry gets. Again, I'm old. Well then, you have it in front of you. Those of you at home who are watching, pull it up on your computer. It's under the content tab. Oh, maybe it'll focus. Okay, so let's talk about this grading part. There are only 2 ways to earn points in this class: homework and tests. And the grading in this class is going to be points rather than percentages. So I know for most of your classes, when you go today and they talk about the syllabus, they'll say things like your quizzes are 20% of the grade, your final is 30% of the grade, and that kind of stuff. Okay, in here, you're just earning points. So you're gonna earn points for homework, and there's a total of 200 possible points you can earn. And for tests, there's 300 possible points you can earn for this first half of the developmental class. And then, if you get to 350 points, then you've earned a C in the class. If you get to 400 points, you've earned a B in the class. If you get to 450, you've earned an A in the class, okay? So these are the points that you want to get to, at least 350. All right, so you know, you get 200 on your homework, that means you need to get 150 on the tests, and you've made a C in the class. All right, every point is exactly the same. So there will be opportunities to earn bonus along the way. A bonus point, students always ask me, where are you going to put this bonus point? On a test or on a homework? In other classes, that's a difference. If a test is worth 30%, then that point is different than if it's worth 10%. But in here, all the points are the same. So it doesn't matter. You can think of it as putting it on a test. You can think of it as putting it on a homework. Every single point is the same value. So you just have this big bucket and you're throwing points in there. And your job is to gather as many of those points as you possibly can, okay? So that's how this is gonna work. You're grabbing points. And the homework will add up to at least 200. There'll be some bonus points actually on that at the end of the semester, or at the end. And the homework is that practice, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna work it on your paper. When you're done with it, you're gonna take a picture of your homework, or you can scan it at home. Somehow or another, you're gonna take a picture or scan it on your phone, or scan it some way and turn it into a PDF. And then you're gonna take that PDF and turn it into Dropbox here on D2L. Okay, so different ways to do that. If you have a printer at home, you can scan it and just upload it. On my phone, I have an iPhone. If I go into my Notes app and I go to take a picture, it asks me, do you wanna take a picture? Do you wanna scan it? What do you wanna do? I just hit scan, and then it turns it into a PDF for me. There are different apps that you can download. So if you have an Android, you can download apps like Tiny Scanner. you're gonna have to figure out a way. This is like one of the assignments this week is how to turn in your assignments as a PDF. And it'll need to be one single document. So it may be that your homework is 10 pages long, but you're not gonna turn in 10 different PDFs. It'll be one document with 10 pages in it. Another way to do it, another way I do it, is I take a picture of it and then I upload it into Word. I just insert a photo into Word, and so that I had into a Word document, and then I can save that as a PDF. If you're having trouble saving as a PDF, let me know. I can help walk you through it, okay? So, but that is one of the things this week that we're gonna figure out is how to turn it into a PDF and then turn it into D2L. If you don't turn it into a PDF, I can't see it in a lot of forms. When you turn it in, it'll come up and I can't read it. It says unreadable for me. So I need it in that PDF so that I can read it and grade it, okay? And then I see the last document that you upload. So in other words, if you upload 10 different PDFs, I only see the last page. So I won't see the first 9 pages that you did. So that's why it needs to be one single document. Along with that, if you make a mistake and you upload a document and then later you come along and you go, oh my God, I uploaded the wrong document, just upload the right document because I see the last thing you turned in. So whatever that last document is, that's what I'm gonna see, okay? Okay, so that's how we're gonna submit our homework. All of your homework will be due on Fridays. So I'm gonna teach today, I'm gonna teach tomorrow, I'm gonna teach on Thursday. Friday night by 11:59, you'll need to have those 3 assignments in. My suggestion is that you go home tonight, do your homework. Have it ready, go ahead and upload it. Tomorrow, go home, do your homework. Turn it in. Thursday, do your homework, turn it in, be done for the weekend. That would be best, right? Okay, but if something happens, you've got all day Friday. If you have some sort of technical difficulty, let's say your power goes out or your internet goes down or whatever, there's a 24-hour grace period. So it's due Friday at 11:59, but it's gonna accept it until Saturday at 11:59, okay? All right, so that's how that homework, and that's what it means by there's a 24-hour grace period. And then Sunday, I spend the day grading. And here's how I'm gonna grade your homework. I'm gonna look over it. I'm gonna kind of glance at all of them, make sure that you're showing work or whatnot. But really, I'm just gonna grade one problem on there. And the way I'm gonna grade that one problem is I'm gonna roll a dice. And if that dice says 5, then that's the problem I'm gonna grade. If the dice says 1, then that's the problem I'm gonna grade. If the dice says 12, then that's the problem I'm gonna grade, okay? So whatever the dice says, that's what I'm gonna grade for that day. And so I'm only gonna grade the 1. So what does that mean for you? Whichever one you leave blank, you know that's the dice, that's what it's gonna roll, right? Okay, not really. I'm not gonna go through and look. It'll be the same number for everybody, but you know that's how luck works, right? So your job is not to leave any of them blank. Make sure you do every single problem so that you can make sure that you get the points for that homework. And then also, you wanna do every single problem because there's a reason that the problems are on there. They're gonna help you get better. So you need to see the different problems, and if you can't do one, make sure you ask for help on how to do it, how to get that answer, so that you understand the material. Because when it comes times for tests, the test is gonna look similar to the homework. And it could be that the one you didn't know how to do, that's the similar one I put on the homework, on the test. Sometimes I take straight homework problems and put them on tests. So if you can't do that one problem, that may be the one problem that was on the test from the homework. So your job is just to make sure that you understand that homework, and you really will be, you'll be good in here. Okay, along with that homework. Okay, I told you not to buy a book. I also told you not to buy a calculator. We are not gonna use calculators in this class. No calculators. Now, I know that. I wrote the problems, and I'm gonna help you so that we get where we can do a little bit of math without a calculator. That's part of this developmental thing, is being able to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. And then other little things like fractions. So we're gonna learn how to do that, and we'll learn how to do it without a calculator. I'll walk you through it. It'll be okay. And by the end of the semester, you'll be really good with it. I'll tell you a little story about that. My sister-in-law started having babies young. And so she had 4 kids really pretty fast and pretty young. And so she had to support them. And so she dropped out of high school and got a job. And got a job at, selling glasses. And, fixing glasses. Well, she worked her way up and became the manager at Scott & White's optical shop. And so she was at Scott & White, and every week they would have a meeting with all the administrators, doctors, administrators, all sitting around the table and talking about the sales. And they would talk about things like 10%, we need to have a 10% increase of the budget. How much is that gonna be? Or, the hours need to increase by a certain amount. And when she first started going to those meetings, she was really intimidated because she felt like she needed to pull out a calculator in order to use it. So that was something that she didn't want to do in that meeting. It would make her feel like she wasn't, and make everybody around her feel like she didn't have the capability of running the shop. So she came home and asked my brother, help me out with this math. And she got where she can just do it now, give an estimate at least in her head. Okay, that's what I want to do for y'all. I want y'all to be able to do that when you leave the class, so that if you go off and you get that job where you're the manager and you're in a room of people, you can just off your head at least give an estimate of things. Okay, so it may be a struggle in the beginning, but again, like I said, it's just practice. That's what math is. The more you practice it, the better you get at it. Okay, so that is our homework and our grading scheme. Then there's the tests. There are only 2 tests, and you can see the homework, each one of them is going to be 10 points, but the tests are going to be 150 points. So the homework's important because it's your practice, but the test is the game. Your job is to make sure you practice enough so that when you go to that gymnastics meet, you can perform. So that's kind of what you think of. And this is, the tests are the more important things. So you've got to make sure that you're doing enough of the homework and you're understanding it well enough so that when you come to the test, you can do it without looking at notes and stuff. So when I say you need to complete the homework, if you're having to look at the examples or having to look at the notes or having to look at, ask me for help on it, and to complete it, then you need to go back and do it again and make sure that you can do it without the notes. You want to get to the point where you can do that homework without looking at the notes. So that's where it comes in, 3 times each. The first time you're like, let me look at these examples and walk it through it. And the second time you're a little better and you only have to look a few times. And then the third time you're like, oh, I got this, it's easy. Okay. All right, so homework, tests, attendance. You're here today. Great job, way to be. Attendance is important. The minute you miss one day, it's just really, really hard to catch up because math builds. So, today we're going to do order of operations. Tomorrow we're going to talk about fractions, I think. And there will be some order of operations within that we learn about fractions. So it just builds upon itself. If something happens and you're absent, you're still responsible for the material. So you still have to make sure that you know it. So that's where these videos and lecture notes and examples come in. So you're not in class, but you can go back and watch the lecture video, you can go back and read the lecture notes, you can look at those examples, and then you can complete the homework. And then I'll show you Discord here in a minute where you can get help, so that if you're struggling with it, then you can get help. All right, so attendance, and let's talk about how to get help. All right, so there's a couple of different ways to get help. Put this back over on the computer. All right, back here to D2L. So just on the home page, like I didn't click on anything and your homework's gonna be there, but it's also here under content. So if I go here to content, you'll be able to see exactly what we're doing for the entire week. Like here's week 1 right here. We're gonna talk about the syllabus and Discord today. We're gonna do order of operations tomorrow. We are gonna do fractions. And then Thursday, we're gonna do operations with integers. So you can see everything that we're doing right there. And then week 2, you can see and look what we're doing. Okay, so everything is also here. So if I wanna look at order of operations, there's the video, there's the lecture notes, there's the examples and the homework. So it's in both of those places, both on the home page, and the home page just pops up that day's, whatever it is we're doing that day. But the whole course is in content. And then just a couple other little tabs up here. Here's that Dropbox. So when you get ready to upload your assignments in Dropbox, here's order of operations. This is exactly what you do. You go to Dropbox, you click on there, and then it'll give you a place to submit it. So here I add my file, and that's where you're gonna add whatever it is you're adding, your PDF file. Okay. And then your grades will also be in this D2L. So everything you need is right here. Okay, and I was going to show you Discord. All right, so let me show you Discord. Some of you have already signed into Discord, great job. Way to get that done. So when you come into Discord, you'll pop onto this welcome page first, or welcome channel. There's a video here to help you if you're new to Discord. Then below it, these are your different channels. When you first log in, you will not be able to see your class channels. You have to first introduce yourself. So let me show you that. I sent in that email what you need to do to introduce yourself, but I'm gonna come over here to introductions. And what you're going to do is you're gonna put your name, your teacher, and since there are 4 of us, it's really important that you put P. Simpson, or Patty Simpson. Then the course that you're taking, which is 1314 or 0314, whichever one, and it's 16 weeks, because we also have 8-week classes, so that we can give you the correct role. And that way, these classes will pop up. Otherwise, you might get a statistics class or a contemporary, and you don't care about those. You just want college algebra. Okay, so it may take a little bit of time, like right now, whoever this is hasn't gotten their role yet because we're in class. So as soon as a professor is available, we'll give you your role, and then you'll be able to see your classes. All right, then this general chat, every math student that's taking a Simpson class can see the general chat. So sometimes people put in general questions in there. Do we have class tomorrow? Or did you see the accident on I-35? Beware of it, or whatever. People put just general chat in there. This is how to screenshot. Clearly we've had difficulty with people knowing how to screenshot, so there's the tips on that. This general voice, again, all of the students that are math students at a Simpson math teacher, student that's taking a math class can get into general voice and talk to one another. So if you know somebody in another college algebra class, you could go in there and chat with them even if they're at the TBI. And then you get thrown into AFK if you're away from the keyboard for too long. Then these are our channels. In the news, I'm gonna put important news. Like right now, I think I have the syllabus in there and syllabus talk. So if something happens and say I'm gonna be absent, or there's an error on a homework problem or something, I'll post it here to let you know about that. Then in this discussion, this is what you're gonna use to help you get help. And what you can do is you can ask a question in here. I'm having trouble with number 4 on tonight's homework, or on order of operations homework. And then either me or another student in the class can help you walk through that. You can also do this. You can take a picture of the work. This is probably the best thing to do. Take a picture of what you've done so far. post it. And the way you post it is there's this little plus sign right here. Once you hit that little plus sign, and you can get this on your phone as well. I have it on both my phone and on the computer. You can upload a picture to the screen, and then you can say, hey, this is what I've done so far. My answer doesn't match the answer sheet. What am I doing wrong? Can you help me out? And then it's not a bad practice for you guys to try to help one another, because if you can find other people's errors, it really enhances your understanding of the math. But then also I'll be around to help answer questions. And then we have other professors that may ask questions, answer your questions, and then we do have TAs that might answer. So there's a variety of ways to get help. And then you can @ us on Discord. I'm Pimpson, P. Simpson. I got the cool name, Pimpson. Over at the TBI, my older brother, Mr. Simpson, was Mr. Simpson, but then my younger brother, Johnny, started working out there, and they were like, which Mr. Simpson do you have? And so the kids were like, well, this one will be Rimpson, and this one will be Jimpson. And then I taught out there. And they were like, well, then you're Pimpson. I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm Pimpson. So, and then there's Leach, who's not really a Simpson, but you know, we'll accept it. He's a Leach. So anyway, those are the 4 of us that are there. And you can add us. You can also @ professor, and that gets all 4 of us. So if it's something that you really need quickly, you can add us. But we look at it pretty regularly. Now my official office hours this semester are gonna be on Thursdays, because y'all are all, your homework's all due on Friday. And so I know how y'all are. Y'all are gonna be waiting till the last minute to do things. And maybe you have work on Tuesdays. Maybe you have work on Wednesdays. So maybe you're waiting till Thursday to do your homework or something. But if you post your, just know that that's the time that I'm gonna for sure be available, is on Thursday afternoons from like 1:30 to 4:30 or 1:30 to 6:30 or something. So that if you need my assistance, I can really walk you through it at that time. But if you post it, most likely I'm gonna help you within 24 hours, maybe even faster than that, because it dings on my computer. So, all right, and then one last thing is this Pimpson voice and video. This is great because, again, if you're in this class and you find somebody in here that's working, y'all can work together using this, talking or on video. Like you can have a video of yourself, you know, hey, I'm working on number 3, this is what I'm working on, and you can work together on it, on your homework. It's really a great place to come to. You can be at home in your pajamas, they can be at home in their pajamas, you can have kids running around in the background, and yet y'all can work on homework together. Okay. Anybody who's done any gaming, anybody used Discord before? Some of y'all have used gaming, yeah. So you know how this works. It's the same thing, only now instead of gaming on it, we're just gonna do our homework on it. So we too, that's what happened was in the pandemic, we're gamers. We played Blizzard games. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Blizzard, World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Heroes of the Storm, and Hearthstone. Anyway, we played Blizzard games, so we were already using Discord, and we were like, hey, this would be a great way to do the pandemic. And so now it's stuck because it's really, really, really good. You can post pictures, you can text, you can even video and voice chat. So it's a great tool to use. And once you start, you may be like, oh my God, I love this Discord so much. We've had that every semester now. But then you start other groups. Chemistry, you have a server for it or something. I don't know. Okay, so there's Discord. If you haven't already gotten yourself in it and done it, I would encourage you to do it. Another way you can get help is the math lab here on campus. It is a fabulous resource. So a great suggestion would be, as soon as you're done with class, maybe you have 3 other classes, go to those. But as soon as you're done with that, go straight over to the math lab. It's in the Barron Student Success Center, room 3606. So that south parking lot, that's that direction. If you enter it, it's down the hall just a little bit on the left. If you know where the testing center is, it's in that same building, same hallway. And the math center in there has great setup. It's got cool tables where you can write on the tables. It's got marker boards that you can work on. They even have a couple of little quiet rooms if you want to go back in a quiet room and work. And so you can just go in there and do your homework. And then, if you need help, there are tutors available that can help you. So it's a great setup. Mia can attest to it. Is it a good setup?
It is.
You like it?
Mm-hmm.
So that was a good way to get your homework done, is just go over there, quiet little area where everybody's doing math, get it done before you go home, turn it in, be done. And then if you need help, they'll help you out, okay? And I think they're open till 6. So, okay, so that's how you're gonna get help, and you're gonna make sure you get help. If your answer doesn't match mine, get help, because that one question is gonna be the question that's on the test. All right, expectations and behavior. You're all here, you're all paying attention, you're doing a great job. Perfect. So that's my expectation. The harder you work, the more successful you're gonna be. That's just, you know, it pays off. If later on you're like, I'm on my phone and texting, it distracts me. If you're sleeping in class, it distracts me. So if you're distracting me from teaching, I will call you out. And if I have to call you out twice, I'll just drop you, because this isn't high school. So there is a big difference between high school and college. In high school, I know, I did both of them. In high school, the teacher's all about the teacher. The teacher's responsible. Oh my goodness, they're not behaving. I have to do something as the teacher to help their behavior. Doesn't work that way in college. Not that way in college. You guys are now in charge of yourselves. You're now adults. And if you can't behave in the college classroom, then you just get to leave. And it's real easy. So it all becomes on your shoulder. It really does. So I'm here to help. I'm here to support you. But then you guys have to do a little bit on your own. All right, and you want to start today working. Don't wait 3 weeks in and go, hey, I want to go back and make up stuff. Because again, it's in high school, it doesn't work that way. If you don't get something turned in, you've missed out on it. You have to start today. So this first semester of math, developmental classes, it's hard. This is not an easy road. I'm telling you that straight up front. And the success rate in here is about 50%. So what that means is, at the end of the semester, half of the class will be here and half of the class won't. Okay, so you've got to decide today that you want to be in that half of the class that is here at the end. All right? You can do it. I'll be here to help you. But it does take some hard work. All right, so last little bit, we're on social media. So, you know, we got TikTok videos, we're on Instagram, we got Snapchat. I just did my streaks out this morning. We got a YouTube channel, you name it, we got it. Follow us, we follow back. All right. And then on the back of the syllabus, it has kind of our tentative schedule. Notice that that is just the first 7 weeks of the class. I'll give you the college algebra portion. The next part, you won't actually, let's say you make an A in this first part, you don't actually get that grade until you've finished college algebra. So you have to finish the semester in order to get the grade for both portions. So, all right. Anybody have any questions? There's a lot of information.
I see February 14th that we have a test, and I'm supposed to be getting married on that day. How is the testing gonna go?
Come talk to me ahead of time. We can do it like in the testing center or ahead of time. You can take it.
Okay.
Knowing ahead of time is good. So, yeah, congratulations, I think. Maybe condolences, one or the other.
Thank you.
Okay, so, but yeah, just talk to me ahead of time. We'll work something out. So if you know something like that you've got to be, maybe you've got to be in court on the day of the test, or even on the day of the test, if something happens, you have a flat tire or something, come let me know. We'll work something out. Typically, you do not want to take my makeup test. So in other words, taking it before is better. It'll be the nice test that I give everybody. But if you have to, like, if for some reason you have a stomach bug that day and you just can't come to class, you have to take the makeup version, and typically that's not as much fun as the first version. So that doesn't mean that you can come take the first test and then take a makeup. That's not the same thing, okay? You get one chance at it.